The first time I noticed it was a Tuesday night in a London hotel around 10 p.m., and my phone was at 4%. I had been wandering around the room looking for an outlet that was not already taken by a lamp or a kettle, and I had ended up in the bathroom, charger in hand, looking very confused at the wall above the sink. There was a tiny socket there, 2 round holes with a sticker that said "Shavers Only." That was it. No regular outlet. Not a single American-style 3-prong. Not even a British 3-prong. Just this strange little portal that looked like it had been designed in 1962 and forgotten. I plugged my charger in anyway because I was tired and I trusted nothing. The charger didn't fit. I gave up, walked back to the bedroom, and plugged into the lamp port like a normal person. What I didn't realize was that I had just encountered 2 completely opposite philosophies about electrical safety. One that trusts a device called a GFCI to protect you, and another that doesn't trust you at all. It took me about a year and a few more European trips to realize that wasn't a quirky old hotel. That's just how British bathrooms work. The same is true of most of Europe. You can stand at any bathroom sink from Lisbon to Helsinki, and you will not find a normal power outlet. In the United States, by contrast, every single bathroom in every single home has an outlet, usually right next to the sink, sometimes inches from running water. We don't think about it. The rest of the world thinks we are insane. So how did America end up here? And why does most of Europe think we are playing with fire every time we charge a toothbrush? That little 2-pin socket in the London hotel has a name. It's called a shaver supply unit. And in the UK, it's governed by a regulation with the unforgettable name BSEN 61558-2-5, which sounds like a Star Wars droid and works almost as oddly. The thing inside the wall is not a normal outlet at all. It's an isolation transformer. When you plug something into it, your device is electrically separated from the main supply of the house, which makes it nearly impossible to complete a fatal circuit through the human body. It is also, by design, weak. The transformer inside is rated for somewhere between 20 and 50 watts of power. That is enough to run an electric razor. It is enough to charge a toothbrush. It is, very deliberately, not enough to run a hairdryer, a curling iron, or a kettle. If you try, a thermal cutout trips and the whole thing shuts off, sometimes permanently. The British did not arrive at this by accident. The UK wiring regulations, known as BS 7671, divide every bathroom in the country into electrical zones based on IP ratings for water protection. There is Zone 0, Zone 1, Zone 2, and what they call outside the zones. Zone 0 is literally inside the bath and requires IPX7 waterproofing. Zone 1 is the air column directly above the bath, up to 2¼ meters high. Zone 2 extends 60 centimeters out from the edge of any bath or shower and requires IPX4 protection. And inside all of those zones, regular sockets are banned under Part P building regulations. You can install a shaver supply unit with its weak little transformer, and that is it. If you want a real 3-prong do-anything outlet, the kind Americans take for granted, it has to be at least 3 meters from the bath or shower. In a country where the average bathroom is the size of a parking space, 3 meters is usually the hallway. Every bathroom circuit must also have an RCD, a residual current device, which is Britain's version of what Americans call a ground fault circuit interrupter. To an American, this sounds insane. You can't dry your hair in your own bathroom. You can't plug in a curling iron in front of the mirror you got ready in front of. And, apparently, the answer is no, you can't. You go to the bedroom, or you buy a battery-powered version. Or, if you're a tourist, you stand in the hallway in your pajamas at 1 in the morning, charging your phone next to a fire extinguisher, and you wonder how this country runs. Cross the Atlantic, and the philosophy flips completely. In the United States, the National Electrical Code does not just permit outlets in the bathroom, it actively requires them. Every bathroom in a new American home must have at least one 20-amp circuit dedicated to its receptacles, and at least one outlet within 3 feet of the sink. The code does not allow you to skip it. You have to put one in. And the reason that policy does not end in a body count traces back to a man at the University of California named Charles Dalziel. Dalziel was an electrical engineering professor at Berkeley who spent a chunk of his career studying exactly what happens to the human body when current passes through it. In the late 1940s and 50s, he ran a series of experiments, many of them on himself, which is its own kind of insanity, measuring the threshold at which a person can let go of a live wire, the threshold at which the heart fibrillates, and the threshold at which death becomes likely. He landed on a number. About 4 to 6 milliamps of differential current is the line between a startle and a stopped heart. In 1961, he built a device that could detect a current imbalance that small in a fraction of a second and cut the circuit before anyone could die. He called it the ground fault circuit interrupter. We call it a GFCI. The National Electrical Code was slow to adopt it. The first appearance was in 1971. The bathroom requirement didn't follow until 1975. But once it landed, the body count started to fall fast. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association in 1984 looked at every bathtub electrocution in the United States between 1979 and 1982. They counted 95 deaths in 4 years, 24 per year. 2/3 of them happened in winter and spring, when people were indoors more. Children under 5 had the highest mortality rate, and hair dryers were responsible for 60% of the deaths. 60% of American bathtub electrocutions in the early 80s were caused by one specific appliance, and most of those deaths were children too small to know they shouldn't reach for it. Look at where you are right now. If you are in your own bathroom, look at the wall next to your sink. There is almost certainly an outlet there. There might be 2. There is a hair dryer plugged into one of them, or a toothbrush charger, or one of those little speaker things people put in their showers now. In any other country on Earth, that outlet would not exist. The wall would just be wall. The fact that you have it, that you can use it, and that almost nobody dies from it anymore is because of one Berkeley professor and a code committee in 1975. Every time you reach for your hair dryer at 6 in the morning with wet hands, you are leaning on a piece of 1960s safety engineering that you have never thought about once. Back to the comparison. What's strange about the gap between the United States and the United Kingdom is not that the two countries had different starting points. It's that they had the same problem and chose opposite answers. Both sides had electrified bathrooms by the 1960s. Both sides had deaths from hair dryers, electric heaters, and amateurishly rewired kettles. The British response was to remove the temptation. If there is no outlet, there is no appliance, and if there is no appliance, there is no risk. The American response was the engineer's response. Keep the outlet. Build a device that can interrupt the fault faster than a human heart can stop. Trust the technology. You can argue about which philosophy is better, but the numbers do exist. After the GFCI became standard, and after the Consumer Product Safety Commission required hair dryers themselves to ship with built-in immersion protection under Underwriters Laboratories Standard UL 859, first for the off position in 1987, then for both on and off positions in 1991, American bathtub electrocutions dropped to a handful per year. The forensic engineering firm CED Technologies estimates the modern annual rate at approximately 2 to 5 deaths annually, down from 24 per year in the early 80s. The United Kingdom's rate, with no outlets in the room at all, is also extremely low, though the data is harder to pull because Britain does not have an agency tracking it the same way the Americans do. Both systems work. They just work in completely different cultural registers. Here's the strangest part. That little 2-pin shaver socket in my London hotel, the one I stared at like an idiot for 3 minutes at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, has a second secret. It is designed to accept multiple plug types. You can plug a British shaver into it. You can plug a European 2-pin shaver into it. In many older versions, you can even switch the voltage between 230 and 115 volts. The British, in deciding that bathrooms should have no real electricity in them, also decided that the one small concession they would make should be the most internationally accommodating socket in the entire country. A genuinely traveling shaver can find a home in any UK hotel. A genuinely traveling phone cannot. That, if you want to know the difference between American and British home design in one sentence, is roughly the whole thing. Americans engineer the danger away and trust the user. The British engineer the user away and trust the danger to stay out of the room. Neither is wrong. They are just two completely different ways of looking at the same wet, humming wall. I have stayed in 7 London hotels since that first one. I now travel with a small portable battery pack because I have finally learned what every British traveler knew at age 4. But every single time on the first night, I still walk into the bathroom, look at the shaver socket above the sink, and try my charger in it again. It still does not fit. The little plastic mouth still says shavers only. Somewhere in California, in a wall full of outlets, Charles Dalziel's invention is doing exactly what it was built to do. And somewhere in London, a small 2-pin transformer is doing exactly what it was built to do, which is, as far as I can tell, mostly nothing.